Yo, what's up guys, welcome back from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. Again, second match here in Group A, we have Dupe Scoop from 2007 is going to take on one of the alternative win conditions, I guess, this year in the Cross-Banlist Cup, and that's Exodia from 2012, the World Championship deck list from back then, from Gerald Winston, as you see here, top 8 by the way, but that was during Insector format, well, Dino Rabbit as well, you know, wind-up format 2012, but I guess World's format was heavily dominated by Insectors, if I'm not mistaken, back then, so, you know, keep in mind the format that this deck list shined, or the short format, right? While on the other hand, we have Dupe Scoop, Machine Beat Town, Machine Beat, however you want to call the deck, but obviously it's heavily focused on Machine Beat, right? Cyber Dragon, very aggressive playstyle, Cyber Phoenix, limit removal, brain control, again, just kind of capitalizing on the speed of the deck, and of course the slowness, I guess, of the format back then. So which deck has the advantage? And we've seen, again, from the votes, previous video, and the community tab, is that people kind of see that the machine deck should have the advantage over Exodia, and okay, I see why. And as you saw in the list, well, of course, without a side deck, let's take a look at the main deck first. First of all, Morphing Jar. You know that the biggest weakness of the Exodia deck is, and just look at the main deck, is as soon as one of the pieces, like one of the legs, one of the arms, or one, the head, is discarded to the graveyard, then that's pretty much GG. There is one card, I believe, in the extra deck that should, or this can, like, somewhat combat that, and that's the Transmigration Prophecy, again a trap card that, like, sends back, I believe it's up to 2 cards from your graveyard back to the deck, so it's not that great, but, it's something that if your opponent is able to discard one of your pieces, then, there's at least one option to get it back from the graveyard, back to the deck, this time. But, well, yeah, game number 1, I believe the only cards that are quite dangerous is, as you see, Morphing Jar and, let me think, Confiscation. Yeah, Morphing Jar, Confiscation. If one of those go off and, of course, discard a piece, then I'm just going to scoop it up. Well, if it's game 1, right? I mean, game 2 and on. Post-side deck, I have Transmigration Prophecy in there. So I think I made, but... yeah, I mean, it was a small mistake, but I was like, well, we know it's Morphing Jar set, right? So I need to get as much damage in as possible, so that's why the Scarecrow was there. But, I activated one Day of Peace, obviously, so it was like, I felt I already lost this one, but... yeah, I wasn't lucky enough to draw the last pieces, right, to get those 5 pieces as a whole in hand. So game number 2, and well, the thing with this deck is it's quite of a strange deck if you think about it. It's a super passive deck. You kind of want to keep your stuff like Reckless Greed, wait with its activation as long as possible. Hopefully draw into a second copy of something like Reckless Greed. Agreed. Same counts for this particular trap card, or the card. Yeah, this one is Hope for Escape, and that's a card you don't really see that much. Is that as soon as you activate your Hope for Escape, I think you need to pay 1,000 life points, right? And then you'll draw cards equal to the like difference in life points. So most of the time that's like 2, 3 or 4 cards, depending on how much difference there is between both players' life points. And that's one of the reasons why this deck is feels quite strange, because again, you want your opponent to attack you, bring your life points as low as possible in order for your Hope for Escape being as big as possible, or the difference being big as possible. Since you're running Upstart, you're running Gift Card, I believe the name is, again gives your opponent 3k life points as well. And here again, I felt again I was basically in a losing position because Roll Degree, because of Chinzo. I have outs in the main deck side deck, that is the Double Typhoon. The Volcanic Queen is there to get rid of the Chinzo, for example, but I mean, if there's any card that can prevent my traps from activated or negates the activation, whatever, there is little I can do. And I believe, not really sure, but I saw in the replay that I believe one Day of Peace was active and I activated Scarecrow, not sure. Again, probably in that mindset that what can I do about this field, right? I need more outs to, you know, get rid of Degree and Jinzo in order for me to play again. Anyway, so Ryza is cool. I mean, it kinda makes the deck again more aggressive, and Sangan again being tributed for the Morphing Jar, so we know it's coming. But I have Volcanic Queen in my hand again. It's basically a Lava Golem, but only for one monster. And I also side-decked in Gemini Imps, also quite popular, because again, in this case, there is the option for Morphing Jar, for Confiscation. I need to prevent those Spirit Reaper. Yeah, it's also one of those cards that kind of forces out my battle traps, you know, Waboku, Threatening Roar, because it's quite counterproductive. Again, you want your opponent to attack you, deal damage, again, get the difference between both life points as big as possible. But then there is stuff like Spirit Reaper that again kind of forces you to use your Roar and use your Waboku, so that's another hinder, right? Do I have, or yeah, the Morphin Jar is in Graveyard, so that's all cool. Again, I'm in a good position with those, you know, like Battle Traps, Draw Traps, Reckless Greed, Hope for Escape, and you know, like 4 draws off of Hope, so that's huge and definitely puts me in a very good position. But I can hold off a potential Spirit Reaper here. Yeah, with Scarecrow as well, and Sangan indeed for, you know, like some extra damage. Certainly also important Imps, but it's getting sent back to the deck thanks to Dust Shoe, but I don't think it matters too much. I do have my last 8 cards in the deck, so activate another Hope for Escape. I believe like draw 5 or 6. Still 2 cards left, so Reckless Greed for the final 2, and that's whew, finally right, Exodia. So okay, 1-2, I'm still in the duel. Problem though is that I'm going second, and I definitely want to go first. Trap heavy deck, and yeah, second is Degree. I mean, look at this hand. If your opponent now flips over Degree in the end phase, there is super little I can do, especially if, you know, they flip over Dekochi, tribute for Ryza, send back one of your traps, right? You know, that's far from optimal. And as I mentioned before, this is a super early Hope for Escape, but again, I'm faced with a dilemma, is that, okay, I can wait, but that again gives my opponent the opportunity to draw Morphing Jar, to draw Confiscation, and again, one Confiscation, again, could be lethal, right? Then I have to wait more for Transmigration Prophecy, so I'm like, okay, I want to get to my pieces as soon as possible, but that's again a bit counterproductive to the strategy. You want to wait as long as possible. But I don't think I have any, you know, options. And on top of that is that a card that I haven't talked about, this Ring of Destruction, right? Is that again, I want to let my opponent attack, deal as much possible damage as possible, you know, damage as much damage as possible. But again, there is still Ring of Destruction. That, let's say, if my life points are like 1500, then, you know, the opponent can just activate Ring of Destruction and lower my life points to 0, and that's something else. So there are just so many cards that I need to keep track of, and, you know, not forget, like Confiscation, Morphing Jar, Ring of Destruction, all those potential things, like don't lower the life points too much, and Battle Traps and whatever. But the thing here is this Roll Degree. Yeah, that's basically the nail in the coffin. And okay, I do have Gemini Imps, but I needed the Waboku here to, you know, hold off the opponent even more. Not sure what my other trap is. It Jar of Greed, another Battle Trap. So yeah, it's kind of Scarecrow holding off. So I don't know, best case scenario. No, oh, okay, Reckless Greed. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Again, you want to wait as long as possible before activating Reckless Greed because of the downside. But yeah, there were just too many outs. First of all, in the main deck, Reaper, Morphing Jar, Confiscation, indirectly Ring of Destruction as well. While on top of that, yeah, just look at the side deck, right? Double Degree Jinzo as well in the main deck, not to forget. Of course, Heavy Storm, I think, right? Yeah, Heavy Storm. There, Ryza, right? Put up the pressure, send back those useless traps or potential useless traps in my back row back to the top of my deck, right? Basically setting me back 1 turn, so just losing too much momentum. So little I could do here with Exodia against Dupe Scoop, especially with the side deck. So yeah, that's how it is. Next match, we are going to Group E again, and that should be Necros from 2015, basically full force, if I'm not mistaken, versus Electromite Turbo, Astrograph Wavering Ice Shenanigans. That should be the next matchup, right? So again, like always, feel free to leave your predictions, and like always, the post in the community tab will be up soon for voting. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. ElectricMudkip out. Peace.